welcome back to Wine and Chill, your home for all things legal shenanigans. I'm Stephanie, your friendly neighborhood lawyer. Well, although we got a new intro, that spiel has not changed. I am not your lawyer. By watching this video, you acknowledge and consent that you read the full disclaimer down below in the description box. It's Wednesday, which means we are halfway through the week. Amen. And it's Wine and Lawsuits Wednesdays. So I have some good ones for you guys this week. We're gonna do Kanye suing his former intern, $500,000. Woo! Meghan Markle versus the British press. Today's random funny one is a Florida man suing President Joe Biden. Yeah. We're gonna get into that. And then the students versus Rice University. Should be fun. I think you're gonna really enjoy today's random funny one because child is a mess. So let's start off today with Kanye. This is our full circle moment. We're back to Kanye. So Kanye is suing his former intern for $500,000, specifically for breaching his NDA that the intern signed. So backstory on this, on what the poor intern did to deserve this lawsuit against him. He decided he was going to post pictures on his Insta of the Yeezy fashion show. Pictures which Kanye and his team allege are confidential pictures. Now, when you're an intern and you work in entertainment, you see a lot of things, a lot of cool things, a lot of things that might make you excited. That does not mean post them everywhere on social media. Specifically, when you have signed a non-disclosure agreement. Most companies, I haven't worked everywhere. Most companies require you to sign an NDA or confidentiality and inventions agreement, depending on the type of company. When you work in entertainment, every single entertainment and fashion company will make you sign an NDA as an intern. When you breach your NDA, you don't, generally speaking, automatically get sued. People generally are kind and will send you cease and desist. To which apparently Ryan received multiple cease and desist, to which apparently Ryan said, nah, I'm gonna flaunt on my Instagram, and refused to take the pictures down. The pictures now are down, but according to the complaint, he left them up for quite some time. It's a bold intern, very bold. Couldn't be me, could never be me. I'm terrified of getting in trouble, by the way, terrified. So much so, when I interned at Bad Boy, I also signed an NDA. I'm getting old. And we're gonna talk specifically about what liquidated damages are. Ryan is getting sued for $500,000, which was specified in the NDA. The liquidated damages clause that I signed, I believe it was 100,000 or 1 million. I can't remember. The number was very large. And all I remember thinking when I signed it was like, okay, what's the list of things I'm not supposed to do? Because I already owe Sally Mae. I'm not about to owe anybody else. That's what a smart person would do. That's what a person with a modicum of couth would do. He proceeded to post the pictures, he proceeded to ignore his cease and desist, and now he has proceeded to get sued. So what is liquidated damages? This is a new term for us. When you sue, you can sue for damages. Actual damages are most likely what most people are used to. Actual damages is usually monetary or injunctive relief. Injunctive relief is saying like, hey, no amount of money is going to fix the situation. You just need to stop what you're doing. Liquidated damages fall under actual damages. They're monetary. However, liquidated damages are pre-agreed upon amounts. So what are liquidated damages? Liquidated damages are previously agreed amounts. Specifically, the definition. A liquidated damages clause specifies a predetermined amount of money that must be paid for failure to perform under a contract. The amount of liquidated damages is supposed to be the party's best estimate at the time they sign the contract of the damages that would be caused by a breach. So you're basically saying like, hey, I'm about to give you access to all of this confidential information, and just in case you decide you want to be bold, this is the estimated amount of money. The estimated amount of money in this liquidated damages clause was $500,000. Basically, the interesting part of that case, so you might think like, oh, it's one and done, like he did it. He's got sued, the proof is already there, he has to pay the money. Not necessarily. So liquidated damages are sometimes invalidated. There's a few specific reasons as to why. So if you decide to vote for number one, that's what we'll go over. How are liquidated damages assessed by the court? When are they valid? When are they not valid? And what's the likelihood that this young man is gonna have to pay this money? My bet, highly, highly likely. Being bold doesn't pay off all the time. I'm just curious as to what would possess him to think this is a good idea. After the first cease and desist, like, why not just take it down? Very interesting. Number 2, we are going to go over Meghan Markle versus the British press. This has been going on for quite a while. So the Duchess of Sussex herself, Miss Meghan Markle, mother of Archie. I just love that the child's name is Archie. She's not Jamaican, I don't think, but it's such a Jamaican name that it just brings me a lot of joy. So she is suing Associated Newspaper, which Associated Newspaper publishes DailyMail UK. In my humble opinion, DailyMail UK is like British TMZ. Messy, foolish. So much so to the fact where over a series of 5 separate articles, they decided it was a good idea to publish and print her private letters to her father. Her estranged father. The British press also has been notoriously rude, mean, and hateful towards Meghan Markle. If you watch The Crown, 2-second period piece side note, the backstory as to why does make a lot of sense. They don't like divorcees. She also is black, you know, so just because you smile and say tea and crumpets doesn't mean you can't be racist. Anywho, she's suing them over invasion of privacy. For the letters, they are claiming she's a public figure, and as a public figure, she has no right to privacy. I think this would be a super interesting case. What are the lines of privacy? And also it would be our first foray into a foreign court. We can learn a little bit about the English court. I've negotiated against a few English companies, so it's interesting since they are the predecessor to our legal system. There are some similarities, but there are some noticeable differences. So, poor Meghan. Child, she tried to flee, go to Canada, and they're still bothering her. What's going to be interesting about this case, she is trying to settle the case. She has moved for a motion for summary judgment, and Daily Mail wants to go to trial. Obviously, the royal family does not want this to go to trial, as multiple other issues will most likely come out and exacerbate the invasion of privacy. So we're going to see. It would also be the biggest televised court case that the UK has seen in a while, and you know, they don't like mess like how we like mess. They pretend not to like mess like how we like mess. So of course there's going to be a battle in the court about whether or not this is going to trial. I think this is very interesting. Very, very interesting. Privacy law has expanded. Privacy law is actually much more robust in the UK and in EMEA in general. In the US, child, privacy law over here is a mess. But over there, this is more so an issue of privacy law also, and the issue being public figures. So here we have separate laws for if you're a public figure, as do they in the UK. So when you're a public figure, what exactly is private to you? What exactly is personal? From a common sense standpoint, your letters to your estranged father, whom you may not necessarily like, is private. But according to the tabloid, apparently not. These people are ruthless. Our funny random what is happening in the world lawsuit is coming to you from Florida. I'm gonna precursor this and say, as a caveat, I am from Miami, 305, all the way live till the day I die. However, I don't claim the rest of Florida, as do most Miamians. So let us walk into what this Florida man has decided to do with his spare time. This whole thing is so preposterous, we shouldn't even give him a name, because that's what people like this want. They want people to know their name. So I'm not gonna say it. This man decided that he is an attorney, and as such, it is within his rights to sue President Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Let me tell you what the counts are before we get into specific things. Count 1, Antifa. That's not a law, but okay. Count 2, Black Lives Matter. That's also not a law, but okay. Count 3, Russia. These are the listed counts, as he said. Ciao. Y'all have seen enough lawsuits now to know how they're supposed to be properly structured. There is nothing proper in this. Count 4, China. He said, I'm just gonna list off countries because that's how I feel today. And count 5, illegal sanctuaries. That count 5 is the only one that he actually, tried to use some legal language. Everything else is just him spieling off pure cockamamie nonsense. but I knew you would enjoy it. So let's get into a little bit of it, so you too can have a giggle on this fine Wednesday. Paragraph 10. After taking the oath, Biden engaged in insurrection and rebellion against the USA. Paragraph 12. After taking the oath, Harris engaged in insurrection and rebellion against the USA. Sir, we all saw the picture, sir. Let us not play Where's Waldo and see who was there with the Confederate flags, the Trump hats, and the foolery causing insurrection. How is there proof? These people need help. So he claimed that Biden is causing insurrection, y'all. I just want to put that out there so you know what type of person we're dealing with. So now let's go to his Black Lives Matter count, which for something to be a count or a claim, that means there's an established law and you have violated the law. Black Lives Matter is not a law. It should be a law. It should be if you violate the premise that Black lives do matter in this country, that you too should be sued. But no, there's not a law there, so I don't know what the heck this is about. Paragraph 46, members of BLM are enemies of the USA. Paragraph 47, members of BLM have openly admitted that their goal is a rebellion against the USA. Again, sir, we have all seen the pictures of who caused insurrection, cockamamie, and nonsense. Last time I checked, as my two eyes do work, and I have contacts to ensure that, it was a lot of Trump supporters that lacked melanin, waving Confederate flags. BLM where? Where did you see the shirt that said BLM, sir? It's literally 4 pages of pure, like, random nonsense, and it's hysterical. Basically, what he's asking for and what he asked for after all of his random claims are: the plaintiff respectfully demands that his honorable court enter an injunction, this is not written properly, but anyways, enter an injunction against the defendants, I'll correct it for him, to prevent Biden and Harris from maintaining office as president and vice president of the USA, order the defendants to appear for their depositions immediately upon service of a notice of taking the same, and granting such other relief as is necessary to ensure justice. Justice would be that the bar relook at your license, because this is a bunch of nonsense. It's not written well, and this is pure foolery. As many of you may not know, or you may know, you cannot sue a sitting president of the United States. So this is foolishness. After reading through this load of garbage, my only question was, is it crack? So last but not least, and as is near and dear to my heart, as I too owe a shit ton of student loans, so I'm really proud of the kids for doing this. Students at Rice University are suing the university and demanding refunds for their online classes, as they stated that they paid for in-person classes, college experience, etc. I completely agree with them. Why are kids paying the same price? Specifically, the price listed in here for Rice University per year, $70,000 before financial aid. Y'all know I'm really bad at math, but 70 times 4 is $280,000. The heck are you giving these kids for $280,000? The cost of education in this country is too high. The cost of education in this country is way too high. This is completely ridiculous. Not that I'm inciting y'all, but I think students have been I think more students should sue. To be honest, I have half the mind sometimes to sue for a back payment of my student loan, to sue for back tuition, as in why the heck did my law school degree cost the amount it cost? It's ridiculous. The numbers are not making sense with a C. So yeah, good for the kids. If you choose this one, we'll go over that. I think this is going to be interesting. The first reason why I think this case specifically will be interesting, this is the first lawsuit of what I think will be many lawsuits. If you can take the course online and sit in your house, your apartment, your grandma's house, your mom's house, wherever you're sitting, should it cost the same as you going to class, as you being with what most private institutions try to tout, and public institutions, a renowned professor, someone who's very learned? If they're not going to be in person and it's not the same experience, why should you pay the same thing? You shouldn't. That's not common sense. So I'm super glad they're suing. One quick follow-up. So Dominion is suing Rudy Giuliani. Damn, Rudy. And I don't know if you guys watch that comedian, but the minute I saw that, that's what I thought. For $1.3 billion. So So yes, it will be us versus the translucent trolls, because I'm gonna post that video this weekend, and we'll just do Sidney Powell and Rudy Giuliani versus Dominion. It's gonna be interesting. You can't just spout foolery and nonsense and think nothing is gonna happen. So stay tuned for that. And as usual, I'll see y'all in the next episode. Also, if you haven't, like, subscribe, and share.